for someone who's pregnant, like, is there some kind of care that one should do to prevent a kid to have allergy?
It's hard. Like if you look at the science that they have out, they quote saying that if you have a cesarean birth,
Yeah.
I was more prone to food allergies. Or if you have this type of birth, if it's a vaginal birth, like, is it because of the because of the everything that's natural that your child's going to be fine? There's really no finding.
No.
They're just theories altogether until there's an actual finding. Because and then you look at the gut bacteria. People talk about inside the gut that is going to be the main component of a food allergy, because although it happens in the blood system, but it also gets dumped into the stomach that cause the lactic acid buildup and everything. So we don't actually know what is going on. That's why there are the OIT, there are the patches, the pills, new ways to kind of like stop anaphylaxis. I read that there's a pill that's supposed to stop anaphylaxis all in all if you take it on a regular basis. So again, it all comes down to medical practices. That's why they call it practices.
Yeah.
You know, so everything that you do, even medication you take today, you're still in that trial phase, even if it's been out for 10 years.
Mhm.
That medication, whether it's like an auto-injector epinephrine, although it's our body's own adrenaline, it's synthetic still, and it's going to do the job. But some people don't take to those. It may take up to 4, 5, 6 of them in order for the body to actually recognize that it's working. So it's all theoretical, it's all science, and it's all practice. Until we actually can find that main component that actually can create that main component to stop it immediately, we will never know what's going on. And then being pregnant, I don't think there's anything you can do to stop a child from having food allergies. Even if you say, I'm going to eat a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, or I'm going to eat a lot of this, it's never going to stop it. My wife, who ate peanut butter sandwiches all the time, had Sebastian. He's allergic to peanuts. Even if you don't eat it, you still can have that allergy. So it's really hard to determine what is right and what is wrong. So it's all comes down to science.
Oh, I have a follow-up on that. Because that's what I always tell new moms out there, because, you know, I had my kids with food allergies for over 10 years now, imagine. As a mom, I tried everything, you know, to be like the best mom. Like when I was pregnant, my weight is like this. I ate all this type of food. I had all my kids without any epidural, natural birth, because, you know, I want to give them the best. And guess what? All of them had multiple food allergies.
Yeah.
So I always tell the moms, don't make it hard on yourself, because sometimes it's always the mom game. And then when I talked to our allergist, I said, I don't have any food allergies. I did everything by the book. But guess what? My husband is the one with food allergies. So blame it on him. No, because I think most people would say, oh, what did you eat when you were pregnant? Or what? It all boils down to the mom's fault. You know, that's what they said. Wait up, the kids are like 50-50, you know? Somebody contributed something. So it's not just on the moms. Because that's why, like with my husband before, I said, oh, why do our kids have food allergies? What did you do? That was his first question. And guess what? I told him, I don't have any food allergies. You're the one who had food allergies. You're allergic to seafood. Yeah. And then we started laughing, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Because most people think it's always with the pregnancy and the mom.
Yeah.
And well, you know, there are other factors in there.
Yeah, so you were saying that there's really no history of really finding the truth or the core of the allergies, right? Because I have allergies to an asthma.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you for thank you for sharing, Rachi and Thomas.
Yeah. Thank you, Thomas, for all of this information. It's so interesting to me. And I think all of us and our viewers would love to know more about what exactly happened to Elijah. I think that's something that I would love for you to share if you're willing to.
I'm gonna kind of like give it more of a summarize, because we're still in litigation with everything.
Perfect.
So, you know, Elijah was full of spirit and joy and love. He had this way about him that was, it was almost an anomaly. And so just seeing him walk through life and doing things was almost like, it had me think, like, what what is in his mind and how is he going to grow up and who is he going to be. So, and you know, it kind of hurts because it was the very first week for him starting school for the first time. You know, and we were excited. I was working at a new in a new job as a first assistant in a surgical center, and Sebastian was already, you know, they started school. Elijah started a little late because we was having trouble looking for a school that will accept him. Once we found a school that did, you know, we gave him everything down to the very, like we dot our I's and crossed our T's with that, and you know, gave him the information, and literally like not even a few days, not even considered it in the first week. I think it was like the third or fourth day.
Oh.
And, you know, I was just coming out of surgery and I felt my phone kind of like going off like so much. And I was like, what's going on? I picked up and it was someone calling from the hospital saying, hey, you need to get down here right away. And then I was like, who is this? They didn't even say who. Then my wife called me and she told me like, hey, I don't think he's going to make it. And I knew immediately and my heart just dropped.
Oh my
So
God.
I literally got off my scrubs, got dressed. I didn't even tell the surgeon where I was going. I just left. And by the time I got to the hospital, it was too late. And then when I found out the story, like while he was at school, like he was given something that he shouldn't have never ingested or was ever given.
Wow.
Although and he had these severe food allergies, which it was all documented. They negating the fact that they have given him this allergen. It just exacerbated the fact that, you know, when you let an anaphylaxis go on for a little bit too long, it creates multiple body systems to take effect. So once that anaphylaxis has already for a long period of time, he was rushed to the hospital, the most nearest hospital, and soon passed away. So like I said, it wasn't until the following week we actually found out what was given to him and who gave it. So if we had known these indicators, it doesn't negate us as food allergy parents because we've done everything. We fight for our kids from day one. And we always want to make sure that the people that we're dropping our kids off understand, understand what we're actually doing. And we want them to instill the same type of care as we would as a parent within our child.
Correct.
So we want you to be as vigilant and advocate for our child. And we all want that. So,
well, our hearts go out to you, and it's so amazing that you and your wife are taking steps to educate people and pass laws to be able to make sure that, you know, that people are aware, right? And I think awareness is key. But hearts go out to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
We just partnered with Enjoy Life Foods, our organization. So we're going to be building a platform that's going to be introduced to a lot of people. We've been working on a few things which we will start rolling out soon, but the partnership with Enjoy Life Food is going to change like how we do things even going further.
Amazing. So Thomas, I really appreciate you being here and for sharing that very heartfelt story.
Thank you.
I wanna
So good.
I want to honor you by showing this to you, and of course, all of us here right now.
Thank you, guys.
That was very short, but we're teary-eyed. I'm so sorry, but
Oh my God, he's so cute. He's so cute.
I know. When I check your website, of course I have children, and I cannot. I don't know what you're going through up to now, but we really wish you well, and you'll always be in our prayers. And And I want to thank Rochi for connecting Thomas to us. And we are going to try our very best to help you with your foundation here in Expose and Express. We're going to use this platform to help Elijah and your foundation, of course, most especially you who's really fighting for this. So I know that we have already talked about your intention, but can you? I know I'm still crying. Can you please tell us? Please let us know what is this foundation is all about. What do you need? What kind of assist and help do you need for your foundation?
So the Elijah-Alavi Foundation, you know, it's near and dear to our heart, and it's our baby, and it is Elijah's legacy and his work. So like I say, every time I speak of my son and use the word was, it always breaks my heart. That is why the foundation, the Elijah-Alavi Foundation, has been put in place, so we can continue moving as we will have moved with him. And with our foundation, our work is to help the underserved communities that are not privy to the education that should be given to them, whether it's food allergies or asthma. And we know there's a high disparities in these communities that are kind of like not being spotlighted until actually now, because we're in the heart of the COVID and also a systemic racial system that's going on right now. So with our foundation, we've done so much, a lot of grassrooting, and kind of like working with so many organizations and aligning ourselves with people and partnering with others. But there's so much more that we need to do. We are on hold doing our training due to the COVID pandemic, and it's hard for us to actually physically go into school. We are on the ground food allergy training organization. We don't knock webinars, but we want people to have the information and retain it by having that physical connection. So what we're doing, we're rolling out an ambassadorship program. We want to get to about at least 1,000 kids nationwide to be Elijah's Echo. So we're creating that ambassadorship program. Also, we're working on marketing materials that we want to send out to daycare centers and family daycare centers and schools on food allergies and how to use epinephrine and educate what are safe foods and what are not. So these educators can have that information privy to them the minute they in their classroom, or the parent coordinator can work out for that. But it comes down to finance. We are an organization, we've been in effect since 2018, but our finance and our funding has been very scarce, you know, so we've been doing a lot on our own and just like working with what we got. Like my website, I built that myself. A lot of things that we've done on our own, but it's unfortunate that it's going to take money for us to move it in the direction we want to. Like with the educational aspects of it, we want to provide free service to get the educators certified and trained, not just give them a certificate, a certification that is lasting, just like a CPR certification, where we actually show you how to use epinephrine and teach you how to mitigate understand food allergies, and an in-depth knowledge where you can actually have that information and retainable. With the certification, you acquire also continuing education credits as well. Because we are the very first in-person food allergy accreditation program. So we align ourselves with Belay, and Belay and I, we developed a food allergy educational platform, which Belay, we hire them to go in and do the training for us. And we're also part of the training as well, but we have to hire them to make sure that the schools can be certified. We do certification, we do audits, there's a bevy of things that we do within this education. Again, it just comes down to finance for us to move in that type of environment. You know, we all know that, like, you know, it's very hard to move in this space, but the more that we can do, you know, it just helps. We align ourselves, we partner with AviQ, where we can provide auto injectors to daycare centers that can't afford it. So we are able to write prescriptions to the daycare centers and give them the 2 auto injectors. We're the very first foundation that actually can do that.
Wow.
When we align with an asthma company, which they provide portable nebulizers, which we want to provide those to families in the underserved communities who have children with food allergies, that they can take a nebulizer that's literally in the palm of my hand and provide them with one of those. So if they're traveling with a child with food allergies and food allergies and asthma, they will have that instantly without worrying about carrying a bulky machine or looking for an outlet. It's portable. It's the same way as you charge your phone, you can charge the nebulizer.
Nice.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of work we want to do and make sure that we can get all this information to as many people as we can, not just people with food allergies and asthma, to anyone.
Mm.
And that is the mission of our work. We're about equity, no matter what your socioeconomic class is. We're for all people, and that's what we stand for.
Awesome.
Amazing. That's amazing. It's really, what you're doing is really life changing for a lot of kids out there, and families basically. That's
Yes.
really amazing, and I commend you for the work you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You've touched my heart, seriously.
Mhm.
You guys, I like. This
Goosebumps.
is a great. I've done a lot of, not negating a lot of the, webinars that I have, but you guys have been very genuine, so sincere, and your energy is like amazing. It's like I love it. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Big
Thank
hug.
you.
I
I'm
know.
still crying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love talking to people on topics that I have no idea, I have very little information about, and I know that our viewers are really going to be touched by your story. They're going to be inspired to talk to their husbands more, and maybe even have their husbands watch this video. So it's gonna be wide reaching. Your story is we love sharing stories, and I got goosebumps right now just thinking about how this is going to touch other people. And so thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for having me. It means a lot.
So
Oh,
Rocky,
Question. Between your work, family, and foundation, how do you take care of yourself? Like,
My wife she's a busy person herself, because outside of the foundation, we homeschool our son, Sebastian. And she also has her own online business that she does. She created this thing called a 12-minute workout, or 12-minute just kind of like a self-balancing in a sense. And she calls it the get up challenge, or the get up reset, meaning like every morning you want to take 12 minutes out of your day and meditate, work out, pray, and relax. And those are all 3 minutes. And there's like a 3-minute meditation, 3-minute workout. The 3-minute workout is a very intense workout for 3 minutes, or praying for 3 minutes and relaxing for 3 minutes. And that kind of like literally resets your whole day. So the minute I wake up, I start that, and it just gets my day started. So I'm also in school as well. So I'm balanced.
Wow.
Work, foundation, home, you name it. So it's all about time management as well.
yes.
And giving yourself that time both for mental, spiritual, and physical health.
and here are other people saying, "Oh, I just don't have the time," and just sits on the couch and watches TV.
Well, you know what? My answer would be, look at Thomas Silvera here.
There you go.
There's no excuse.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, so I think they said it a lot of things already, Thomas, but thank you so much for saying yes. Because when Jenny and I were talking about a Father's Day special, Jenny's like, who do you think would be interested to talk to like 4 women online for an hour? And I said, you know what? And I was like going through my Facebook, and I said, you know what? I will message Thomas, because I know it's not that, because I haven't really met him like personally. I've just known him in the community and in social media. So I said, what? And
Also,
Jenny's
you're
like,
one of the ladies. You're one of the ladies who's like, yeah.
he's in the community. Yeah, we're one of the ladies. Yeah. So when I told him, like, oh, it's Thomas, because he's been my Facebook friend, and I saw how authentic he is, and
Yeah.
how open he is, because it's very rare to have, male figures,
Energy.
and not just energy, just the male figure talking to women on topics that are, I would say this is a bit sensitive topic,
Yes.
like, because they don't want to express themselves. And I say, you know what? I think Thomas will be that person, that perfect first male guest in Expose and Express.
Yes.
So when I texted him, it's like, Thomas is it? And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so honored. And I'm like, yes, thank you, Lord.
Well, you know
I think
what,
we got
Thomas?
something.
Thank you, Rashi, for sharing. And Thomas, so before we end this, I really appreciate your kind words as well for telling us that we're very authentic, we're very playful here, we're so natural. Yes, we are. Because there is no way to really communicate with someone like you who is also kind-hearted and very authentic person, but like what we truly are, right? So we are in Expose and Express online talk show. We have just one language. It is love.
Yes.
So we are sharing each other's energy, heart to heart, spirit to spirit. And I really appreciate you for being the light in this group right now. You're not the thorn among the roses, but you are the light. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Like I said, we wish you the best, and we're here for you. We are going to continue not just providing monetary, but the means, like the platform. But of course, financially, that's what we need. That's what we need, right?
I always express, and I tell people this, it's not about the financial building on it. It's about the impact that's going to be created, but
yes,
the cause that you have started. And I was like, we didn't start a nonprofit just because. We started it for a cause because it's not because we had to, we needed to, because there is a lack, there's a lack of information. Although there's a lot of people doing exactly what we're doing, the message is not being conveyed 100%. So it's going to take everyone. So it's like each one teach one. And that's the motto we move with.
Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you so much.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
This is Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Hi, Sebastian.